Welcome to another Wednesday's Word. This last Sunday, we started shifting in our Heidelberg Catechism series. We spent 3 weeks looking at guilt, and the next section is grace. The final section will be gratitude, but we don't get to that until the fall. Grace is 60% of the catechism. And grace is something I need today. I missaid something. Pretty close, got it right, but there was a little issue with what I said. If you remember, I was trying to be all provocative and keep you on the edge of your toes, asking how many ways are there to be saved. And the normal Christian response is just one, through Jesus. And that is 100% true. There's only one way to be saved, because as we talked about the week before, we are saved from God and his wrath due to our sin. But the way I should have asked the question is, how many ways are there to secure eternal life? And there's a difference there. You secure eternal life is different than being saved. If you live a perfect life, if you're born without sin, if you never sin, if you never stray from God, if you never do anything that doesn't love God with all your heart, all your soul, all your strength, if you always love your neighbor as yourself, then you don't need to be saved. You have earned eternal life. That was the point I was trying to make, but I misstated it. But I wanted to get that in your head, because here's the thing. Many people think that we are saved by grace plus our works. We have to do all those good things, and then God takes our good things and adds the gift of Christ, and in that synergy, we get saved. We believe in monergism. Ergonomics is the study of work. If you have an ergonomic keyboard or an ergonomic mouse, they're ones that are designed not to hurt your body as much. So if you look at the workflow of faith, mono means singular. It's not synchronism, where we are working with God. It is mono, God does all the work. And so grace means that either I do all the work or God does all the work, but there's no hybrid. So God does all the work to save us from himself, because I cannot do all the work to earn eternal life and never incur God's wrath. That was the point I was trying to make. And while I might have misspoken it a little bit, I do appreciate the grace of the people who said, I get what you're trying to say, but I also really appreciate the theological knowledge in our church that people caught that. But also get that point in your head. Because what most of us do is we live life like it's a two-step bargain. God will do his part, I'll do my part, and hopefully at the end it'll all work out. That's not Christianity. Christianity says God will do it all. Jesus paid it all to him I owe. One time Martin Luther was confronted by another priest who came up to him and says, what you're saying is that we bring nothing to our salvation. And Luther said, well, if that's what you heard me say, I misspoke. We do bring something to our salvation. We bring the sin that makes it necessary. And that's all. Jesus does the rest. So forgive me for that way I misspoke, and the millions of other ways I've said things wrong. Hopefully God's message gets clear to you. And if you have any questions, always feel free to reach out. I love the fact that people were just willing to come up to me right after church and say, hey, let me ask you about that. And I really do appreciate that. So let's keep the conversations going. Together, we'll all get better at this. God bless.